Well, the Historical Society is bringing Indy's past into the future with You Are There 1920. All of the big moments from the history books are being brought to life in this brand new exhibit, complete with real actors. Hoosiers can step inside and experience the past 200 years for themselves. That is a look back in time at Monument Circle from over 100 years ago. It's a great indication of the celebration of Indianapolis here at the Indiana Historical Society. We're here with Danny Gonzalez, one of the masterminds behind this. So that picture back there, how old is that picture?
That is a photograph from 1908, and that's showing the first time that they allowed cars onto Monument Circle, which I thought it's a great image. You get to see lots of stuff happening, lots of movement, but it's also a really great indication of sort of the beginning of Indiana's car culture, Indianapolis's car culture, which is such a part of the city.
So you've got this celebration going on right now. You're celebrating Indianapolis. What was the inspiration behind this?
We wanted to celebrate 200 years. This is the 200th anniversary of the founding of the city. 200 years ago in June, some folks from Corydon, Indiana came up and were scouting a new location for a state capital. That is what Indianapolis became.
And what are some of your favorite moments that you have here in this space?
We've got an artifact in the exhibition. It's a ledger book. It reads like a who's who of early Indianapolis residents if you go through and look at the people they're doing business with. There was very little here when they decided they were going to make this the capital. It wasn't until 1833 that the National Road connected through. So we've got a really incredible photograph of what it looked like on the National Road on the west side of Indianapolis around the turn of the century. There's an image of 96th Street that shows that it's just cornfields, and that was just 50 years ago or so. We have a number of touchscreen kiosks, and there's tons of material that we couldn't fit on the wall, but we want you to be able to explore. So you can pick the side of town that you want to explore. Here we're on the south side, and you have a variety of themes that you can explore. So let's say you want to learn a little bit about education on the south side of Indianapolis, and just explore deeper into our collection.
And not only do you have all these amazing pictures, you actually have a pair of actresses here, Mrs. Costangas and Mrs. Brown, that you can interact with. What year are we talking about? What year are we in?
This is June 5th, 1920, and we're here in the Athenaeum in downtown Indianapolis getting ready for the Centennial Pageant that will be happening.
Mrs. Brown, what are some of the questions that people can ask you when they come into this room?
We've gotten done with the Great War, the tail end of the influenza pandemic. What am I forgetting? Oh, women's rights.
I was going to say, how could you forget? Now, on a more sober note, you might say, prohibition has just gone into effect in January. Although after this pageant, we may all need a stiff drink.
Yeah, it was really great to talk to those women about the 1920s, because you feel like when you walk into that room, you're in the 1920s. It is so much I wanted to put in that piece, but for lack of time we couldn't. There's a place where it talks about in the 1960s and 70s how so many Spanish immigrants came to Indianapolis, and then I realized that's me. That's my dad. My dad came from Cuba in the 1960s to Indianapolis. And I'm like, wow, that's a part of my history as well. Me being a first generation American and me being a Hoosier. So it was really cool to see this, and it's really awesome. It's at the Indiana Historical Society. It's there for the next few years, so you got time, but you can go see it this weekend. Wear a mask, of course, if you
That is really cool, and I like to see how, and I mean, we all grew up in Indiana, I like to see how the sides of town, how they developed over the years, because when I was growing up, the north side was cornfields, and now it's, everything and everything under the sea. So very cool look. Thanks,
and they
Carly.
have actors too.
I know,
That's really
I like
neat.
that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, the